Want to know who manipulators love the most? Not the weak, not the clueless, the wounded. The ones still stuck in their story. The ones who mistake trauma bonding for intimacy and control for care. Yeah, them. See, a manipulator doesn't need to break you down, not when you're already cracked open and bleeding. They just slip into your soft spots, nod real slow, and say all the right things. I get you. You've been through so much. No one ever appreciated you the way I do. Sound familiar? That's not love. That's strategy. They don't care about your pain. They collect it, study it, turn it into a manual. Because once they know what broke you, they know exactly how to bind you. And the best part, you won't even resist. You'll cling to them because they make you feel seen in a way you've never been before. But it's not safety, it's a leash. A compliment here, a trauma share there, a little praise when you're obedient and withdrawal when you question it. They feed you in crumbs while dining on your insecurities like a full course meal. And the moment you call it out, they flip the script. You're too sensitive. You're imagining things. You're ungrateful. And just like that, you're back to proving your worth to the same person who's been draining it. Let's go ahead and clear the air right now. You're not just attracting manipulators, you're accommodating them. You're not being fooled, you're being agreeable. You're not powerless, you're participating. Because here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Manipulation doesn't work without access, without silence, without your permission, explicit or implied. They gaslight you and you stay. They guilt trip you and you apologize. They cross a boundary and you lower it just to keep the peace. But peace at what cost? Your clarity, your confidence, your identity? Nah, that's not peace. That's performance. And the role you're playing is easy target. You don't get applause for ignoring red flags. You get consequences. And before you go pointing fingers, ask yourself this. What part of me needs to be needed? What part of me confuses loyalty with sacrifice? What part of me would rather be chosen by a manipulator than be alone? Because the moment you stop asking, why do they treat me like this? And start asking, why do I keep making space for it? That's the moment you take your power back. Let's talk about victimhood. Not the kind that's done to you, the kind you start living in like it's your permanent address. When you're always stuck in poor me mode, guess what? You'll start curating your life to prove the world's out to get you. You'll overextend, overgive, and over-sacrifice for people who never asked for it. Then act shocked when they don't reciprocate. You weren't giving, you were auditioning, trying to earn love through struggle, performing pain just to prove your worth. But let's keep it real. Did they actually expect that from you, or did you expect it from yourself? Because suffering made you feel significant. Here's the hard truth. Sometimes you make it easy for people to take advantage of you. When you're busy trying to be the hero in someone else's life, you remove the hero from your own. By lowering the bar for access to your generosity, you teach people to exploit it rather than value it. Let's talk about that little desire. Not for love, not for connection, but for straight up attention. Raw, unfiltered, and often unearned. When you crave the spotlight more than you crave self respect, you'll take it however it comes. A petty like, a shady compliment, a half hearted "you up" text at 2 a.m. Because deep down, you're not asking to be valued. You're just begging not to be ignored. And baby, that's the bait. Manipulators see it. They love it. Because all they have to do is jiggle the hook. A flirty emoji, a repost, a random compliment just when you're starting to feel strong. Just enough sparkle to make you perform again, but never enough to make you feel whole. And maybe it started way back. The invisible sibling, the overlooked friend, the one always playing second string. But now you're loud on purpose, performing for applause you don't even respect. Not because it's your truth, but because silence feels like a death sentence. So let's keep it real. If being unseen hurts more than being disrespected, manipulators don't have to play chess with you. They just gotta flick the light switch, control your spotlight, and then they own your self-worth. Here's the thing about low self-esteem. You stop vetting. You stop discerning. You let in energies at every vibrational level, just hoping someone, anyone, will choose to stay. That's not connection. That's desperation. You're not just hurting yourself. You're making yourself easier to control. You're tolerating crumbs and calling it a meal. When you don't know your worth, you'll listen to anyone who pretends to recognize it. That's where the manipulators step in. They see your lack of confidence like it's a flashing open sign. You crave approval, they'll breadcrumb you with compliments, just enough to keep you hooked. You want to be chosen, they'll dangle the idea of being the one just to keep you performing. They study your self-doubt, mirror your insecurities, and weaponize your need to feel seen. And here's the kicker. You'll think it's connection when really it's control. Because when you don't have your own identity, you'll cling to whoever gives you one, no matter how warped or harmful it is. And people with strong self-worth, they're harder to manipulate, harder to break, harder to own. But if you're out here molding yourself into whoever makes you feel wanted, don't be surprised when that same person turns around and uses you like a tool. Overextending yourself might look like kindness, but let's keep it cute. It's not noble if it's coming from a need to be needed. Manipulators love a people pleaser. Why? Because you're an easy yes. They don't have to earn your energy, they just have to expect it. You're out here doing acrobatics to prove your worth, pouring from an empty cup like it's an Olympic sport. And when they don't match your effort, you spiral into, why am I not enough? When really, they never deserve that much to begin with. Let's call it like it is. Overgiving isn't love, it's emotional bribery. You're hoping they'll give you value in return for self-abandonment. Newsflash, they won't. They'll gas you up just enough to keep you available, then disappear the second you're dry. To them, you're not a person, you're a perks package. And the more you give, the more entitled they feel. You're waiting on gratitude, they're taking notes on how much you'll tolerate. And while you're confusing exhaustion for loyalty, they're stacking the receipts for your next emotional invoice. So let's stop the performance. If your generosity is just a cover for poor boundaries, you're not being kind. You're being used. With your permission, of course. Let's clear something else up. There's a big difference between quitting and letting go. Not quitting makes sense when you're pushing yourself to grow, like in sports, career goals, or anything that demands resilience. That's where endurance matters. But some things don't need to be conquered. They need to be released. Because being pushed to your limit in love, friendships, or family dynamics, that's not strength. That's self-destruction with a heroic twist. If you're sticking around to prove you didn't deserve the pain, you already lost. Because staying in that mess isn't proof of your worth. It's proof of your willingness to tolerate being mistreated. If you truly believed you deserved better, you would have walked away the moment they handed you less. This isn't loyalty. It's spiritual self-harm dressed up as perseverance. Let's stop pretending like we were blindsided. Most manipulators didn't finesse their way in. You left the door wide open. You weren't chosen by accident. You were chosen because you were primed. So before we start pointing fingers, let's take a hard look at the cracks in the mirror. Because the only thing more dangerous than a manipulator is the version of you that keeps inviting them in. You needed to be needed. They showed up with problems only you could fix. You craved attention. They gave you just enough to keep you starving. You couldn't stop proving your worth. They kept moving the goalpost until you forgot you had value without their approval. And when you kept quiet to keep the peace, they got louder and bolder at your expense. You weren't chosen at random. You were targeted by people who saw the cracks in your foundation and knew exactly how to pour themselves in. But here's the twist. They can't manipulate what they can't access. They can't exploit a version of you that no longer needs external validation to feel whole. So maybe the real flex isn't blocking them. It's outgrowing the version of you that let them stay. Take the bait off the hook. Pull the plug on the performance. And remind yourself, you were never too much. They were just too committed to keeping you small. Let them miss the version of you that's gone. And you're too busy becoming the version they can't reach. Let's vent.